What's up guys, my name's Steve and this is the IQ Workshop, and in today's video I am doing a quick tutorial for my dad how to download files for 3D printing from the internet, to be able to slice those files, create a file structure that he can easily find those files and then output the files to his printer. This is dedicated to his particular setup. So Dad's in his 70s and he's bought himself an Anet A8. He's put it together and he's getting some prints coming out of it, but he's getting a little frustrated downloading files and losing them within his computer. And we're a long distance away, so we're using things like Skype to talk about this, and I'm not always available, so this video is just for him to reference back to. So let's get into it.
Okay, so before we start, we need to get a copy of Ultimaker Cura. So to do that, we need to head across to ultimaker.com, and once we're at ultimaker.com, you can scroll down, choose Ultimaker Cura, and then there's an option to download the software for free. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to choose the version that is relevant to me, which is Windows 64-bit. There are versions for Mac OS and Linux. And we're going to hit the download button. We click the link, and we should initiate the installation process. So we're going to go into the setup wizard and we're going to go ahead and just click next. And we're going to just keep going through this installation process and accept all the default values. Okay, so it's now asking me to install some device drivers. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And there we go. We're just going to click on finish and run Ultimaker Cura. Right, so I'm just going to whiz through this. This is not what this video is about. Now, there's a number of different sites that you can get files from. Places such as myminifactory.com, Yegi, which is a search engine of multiple providers. But one of my first go-to places is Thingiverse. So let's go to Thingiverse. We're going to throw something in the search box, and we're going to go ahead and slice it. Galaxy S9 stand. There we go. Just a bog standard stand. Now, with Thingiverse, there's a number of different ways that you can get your files. So let's go to down here at the bottom is a navigation bar. First one is thing details. And this is a little bit from the author about the file itself. It gives you a summary of what the part is. It also gives you some information around the printer that the author has used, and it says what print settings they've used to actually get the result that you see on screen. Now, bear in mind that not every author will write this information, so it's down to the author of that file to put that out there. Otherwise, you're gonna get nothing. But we're gonna put our own slicing elements in here. So if you go to thing files, you can literally click the STL file, or you can choose the agree and download. One thing you do need to take a notice of is the licensing that the user has said that their file is going to be distributed under. This one is under Creative Commons attribution. So that means that if you use it, you have to give this author credit. We're going to click on this file here, and you're gonna see it appear in my downloads option down the bottom. And before you get deep into 3D printing, it's super important you organize your files. You need to get a file structure. So when you go into your downloads folder, if you're anything like me, you don't delete much, and there is a ton of files in here. one of the most important things you can do is to set up some sort of file structure that you can find your STLs. Yeah, you can find the things that you want to slice. So what I like to do is to select the file. You can press Control C to cut, or you can right click and cut, and you'll see the file goes a little bit ghosted out. And then if you go to your documents, right click, new folder, and we're going to call this projects. Go into your projects folder, and I then right click and I create a new folder for every STL file that I choose to print. So we're going to call this phone stand. And then when we go in here, I can either press Control V to paste the file or right click and paste. And there's our STL file. We're now good to go. One last thing that I will do is I'll right click, new folder, and I like to separate the G code from the STL. Now, it's a little bit overkill when you've only got one file, but you can actually have multiple sets of files for a given model. So that can get a little bit cluttered in here. So this is all about making your files easily available. So now let's minimize. Let's get back to Cura. We're going to open the file and we are going to go to my documents. I'm going to go to projects, phone stand, and open the STL file that we want to slice. Here is our file, and as you can see, it's not necessarily orientated the best to give us a good result. You want to try and place the file in such a way that it doesn't have too many overhangs. You can see this red area here. It really doesn't like the way that this file has been placed. So we need to change its orientation. So one of the easiest ways I find to do this is to select the item, and over here we have a rotation option, and it gives you 3 degrees of rotational control, and you can literally grab the circle which represents an axis. If I just move around this object, you can see the green one will move it from side to side, the red one front to back, and the other one will spin it around like it's on a lazy Susan. So we're going to click that and just drag that around. We want to rotate this by 90 degrees, and you'll see on screen that there is a number of degrees that you are rotating. So let's say we don't get it all the way down, or that the object is very complex. One of the things you can use is some of the auto configuration tools that Cura comes with, and one of those is an option called lay flat. And what that does, it looks to analyze the object and try and find a decent flat surface and place that on the build platform. So by doing that, let's click that button and you'll see the model just snap into place. There we go. And that's now placed it pretty nicely on the bed of the printer. So we click on the slice button, and that's now going to slice our file. We can choose to preview it. And this is what our file looks like. So you use this little bar on the right hand side, just drag down. You can actually get to see how the 3D printer works, how it's actually going to build our object up. Pretty cool, right? So we're going to save that file. That's what we're going to print. So we're going to click Save to File. And because we've opened this file up in the projects folder, and we're already in the phone stand, we click on G code. And let's give this a name. Let's just call it phone stand. You can use the default one, but I mean, I like to just name them just so I know exactly what it is. I haven't got some sort of prefix that the software's actually spat out. There we go. The file is now saved. So the next thing that we need to do is to send this to our printer.
So to send the file to the printer, we're using an application called printrun or Pronterface. We're going to load that up, connect to the printer, and then send the file to the printer directly.
So we're going to connect to our printer, COM4 115200, and connect. I'm going to home it by pressing this home button, just by here. Awesome. That works. Okay, so what we're going to do now is load our file. We're going to go to our Documents, Projects, Phone Stand, G-Code. Choose the phone stand G-Code and just wait for that to load up. That's just reading the file in. And all we need to do from here is to hit the print button, and that will then start the process of the printer heating up and printing the file.
So all being well, that's the printer heating up and now printing the part. So there are many different ways that you can send files to your 3D printer, such as saving the file to the SD card and plugging it in. If you have a Raspberry Pi, you can set up Octoprint and make the printer wireless. But as I said at the beginning of the video, this is specifically for my dad's configuration, and this is how he understands how to print. And the key piece here was to try and get the file structure in place so that you could easily download the files, locate them, slice them, and send them to the printer. So fingers crossed, this video has done its job. And if you like this sort of thing, please like and subscribe. There's going to be some more tutorials like this, and hopefully I can up the production quality of the videos going forward. But being this is my first one, I'm not going to hold myself to account too much in the fact that I've actually just got started. So if you've got any advice or suggestions on how I can improve this video, feel free to add it in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.